Hello, Tim Johnson here. Welcome to Kerbal Space Program. Wow, this is an amazing program. I hesitate to call it a game. It is so much more. The folks at Squad put this out. It's still in beta, version 0.20, and you can get it for a steal of a deal. I think it's just now $25. And I got mine on Steam. I think they even had a special on it. It was like 20 or something. So this is amazing. If you are anything like me, I'm a child of the 70s and the 80s, more so the 80s. But I was a kid in the 70s, and the space program was still cool and awesome. And then the space shuttle came out, and that was awesome. And I loved rockets and things that flew and made model rockets and launched them and ran all over the place to get them back when they came back to Earth. I had a wonderful time. And if I had had at that point a program like this, wow, I might not have ever seen the light of day. I don't know. Now as an adult, I don't want to go running around and launching model rockets. So here we are, Kerbal Space Program. This allows me to not just build a model rocket, but launch it, fly it. I can put things in orbit. I can build a space station in orbit, put things together. I can go to the moon. I can go to Mars. I can attempt to break the speed of light if I want. I've seen some people talk about that, which is impossible. But in this, again, I hesitate to call it a game. It does have game aspect qualities of it, but in this program, you can do it all. It's amazing. So kudos to you, Squad. Just great stuff. It's got an insanely huge community support. Community, just stumbling over my words here, where you can download add-ons and plugins that'll do anything from helping you with building a ship by adding more parts that you may want, to helping you build by doing the calculations for the thrust and the weight and so forth, helping you plan flights, helping you do anything. It's again, just amazing. I keep using that word, but it's fantastic. So there's a lot of, and they're very open with the source code, so people are able to modify and change things. And so these plugins work beautifully. I have heard that the physics aren't the most fantastic, but there's a plugin that adds even more realistic, fantastic aerodynamics and so forth. So just beautiful, beautiful. But enough about my going on about it. This is Kerbin, I believe is the name of the planetoid, the planet that the Kerbals live on. There is a training. I highly recommend that. It shows you how to build a rocket, how to fly it, how to get it into orbit, or excuse me, how to orbit. Doesn't teach you how to get into orbit. That is, you may want to watch some YouTube videos on that, because flight basics, to an almost respectable altitude. The flight basics does, you can learn how to sort of put things in orbit, but it doesn't break it down for you, as well as it. I would recommend they have a training here that does include actually putting it into orbit, not just flying around. So flying up, which is cool. So Into the Moon Part 1 shows you how to get to the moon. But again, you're starting outside in space, not from a launch pad, so it doesn't take you through how to actually get something into orbit. But so there are some YouTube videos you can pick up on how to do that. And maybe I'm just an idiot, and everyone knows how to put a large object into a nice geosynchronous or otherwise orbit. So who knows? Anyways, there are scenarios you can run through. It's really cool. If you get the demo, yes, there is a demo. Highly recommend you try it out too. It doesn't have some of these things on it, but it does have the training and so forth. And it has a few limitations on it, but still really fun to play. So it's in sandbox. There's no career mode yet. Items do cost money, but it's irrelevant. I'm choosing a flag there. It's irrelevant because there's no actual like game component to it. This is the space plane hangar over here on the left. In the middle there is your vehicle assembly building, the VAB. Over on the right is your tracking station, which is cool because once you get things in orbit, you can track them. You can find out what their orbits are and then put in for a launch where you can intercept them and then add things to it. And of course your launch pad and a nice little flag. So we're going to go to the vehicle assembly building, and this hangar is massive. You can load. I've got a couple of plugins. No, I'm not going to tell you the name of them because I'm not going to spend that much time on this. But I highly recommend some of the great tutorial or great videos by Scott Manley. Excuse me, Scott Manley. Just fantastic. Manley. Search him on YouTube. Got some great videos on building and so forth. He'll get into all the plugins. So if you want to look up, I think it's top 10 add-ons for Kerbal. I think that's the video that he's got, and he goes through those. I've added a few of these. I will say that I'm running an average computer. I'm not running a great computer here. I'm running a pretty average computer. The frame rate has been fine so far. Once I added some of the plugins, the frame rate went down a little bit. So I don't know if you'll see that in this video, but the frame rate seems to be okay. So even if you're not on a great computer, and again, kudos to the developers for that. You can see the little Kerbals walking around with their clipboards and helmets and everything, kind of cool there. On the left-hand side, we have got these different components. There's way upper left-hand pods, propulsion, control. So propulsion, we got all these, but some of them are grayed out because we need a pod. Control, structural, aerodynamics, utility, science. The top right, we've got the place for loading, launching, and so forth there. Lower left-hand corner, we'll get into that in a little bit. But let's just put a Mark 1-2 command module. You just click on it, and boom, there it goes. There it is. The interface is really nice. Scroll wheel moves you up and down. You click and then move around and then click again, and it'll place the object there. If you can place it, it's green. If you can't, it's red. It's easy. It's easy so that laymen like me can play this. I love model rockets, and I love rockets and everything, but I didn't get into only sciencey, wyancy stuff of weight to thrust ratios and so forth, which I've learned some of the terminology. But again, there's add-ons that help you do that, so you don't have to do the manual calculations. Because if you're anything like me, I don't want to do the manual calculations. I'm more of a big picture guy. I'm not really into that. I like math, but I'm not in love with it. So I'm certainly not going to have an affair with it when I could be spending my time with other things that I personally would prefer to be doing. I understand you math type of people out there who would love to eat that up. And guess what? In this game, program, you can. So I've got this nice module here. However, I want the module to come back down too, so I am going to put on this nice little parachute here. The cool thing is I've also got radial mount parachutes, and there's this massive one here. The Mark 16 XL parachute. That's huge. I believe that's the biggest one. Somebody deployed. Oh, no. Yeah, that is. Fully deployed drag is 500. Fully deployed drag is 170 there. So this will do us. The Kerbal knots go in there. Again, we've got battery packs, photovoltaic panels. Amazing stuff. Good stuff here. Aerodynamics, we'll put fins on it in a little bit, but let's get to the really cool stuff, which is propulsion. You've got solid rocket boosters that go on the outside, so if you want to make like and again, you just click and drag it and you put it there. It's red, but I could snap it on there, and then boom, it's just a solid rocket booster underneath it, so which may or may not go anywhere. what was I going to say? Yeah, solid rocket boosters. If you wanted to make like a space shuttle type of thing, you can do that. If you want to just, Apollo mission type of things, you can do that. Whatever you want. There's a liquid fuel. There's solid fuel boosters. So yeah, the sky's the limit pretty much here for you. Control, I am going to put an advanced, whoop, that's not big enough. There we go. Advanced SAS module on there. Whoops. SAS stands for something. Let's see, what does it mean? Let's see if we can find that. Stability Augmentation System. Spin Auto Stabilizer Sickness Avoidance Solution. Whatever you choose to call it. It makes the ship stop spinning around. So, which is really handy, because we don't like ships that spin around. So, anyways, once the ship gets moving, this thing keeps it from spinning around. We're also going to take some thruster blocks. Now, in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see these cool little buttons. The first one here, the symmetry mode. So, if you want to, symmetry is very important in rockets. So, you can put up to 8 pieces, I think that is. 8 pieces at once, or just one single one. Angle snaps, if you wanted to snap on specific angles, which we do that. Center of mass, center of lift. These are very important, so even though here's the center of mass, it's going to turn on that, basically. Center of thrust, we don't have any thrust yet, so let's add some. But anyways, so I'm going to add some of these because I am just optimistic about this thing getting up into the atmosphere, and above the atmosphere, excuse me, and making it all the way to where we want it to go. Let's see. I'm going to add a... Ooh, that's a big one. Fuel tank here, but why not? That's got 720. Let's do that one. This tells you liquid fuel 720. Oxidizer 880, dry mass 1, all that fun stuff. The big thing is liquid fuel is 720. That's half of 1440, and that's definitely more than 180. So I'm going to put this puppy right there. Again, it's just green. Green is good. Green is good. Add it on there. The Rockomax Skipper liquid engine excels when used as a mid-stage booster. That's really awesome. It tells you the engine max power, 215, 1500. This is the big one, the mainsail. This is 650, and this is 200. That's 215. I haven't rehearsed this, so this building portion here, we're just gonna... That's way too small. That just is embarrassing. Doesn't look good at all. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty nice. Pretty nice. There's some radial fuel tanks and so forth. There. Fuel tanks. Got these external fuel ducts, so you can have multiple different fuel tanks and jet fuel if you want to make things fly in the atmosphere. Massive jumbo tanks. Here's the cool thing: you don't have to worry about the external housing for things. It just automatically goes on. So see that? Exposed, nicely hidden in aerodynamics. So it's got some cool stuff. Anyways, so that's how you put together a rocket. And then you've got these aerodynamics. You got a structural deal which allows you to attach these things so that it'll hold it until you get thrust moving on that. So, but I think I'm going to go ahead and load just the stock. What is this orbiter 1A? Oh, okay, I've tried that one. That doesn't get off the ground. But these are from the add-ons. There's a 2-stage lander. Comes with these. These are ones people already built. So this would be like a component that you could have, and then you've got another rocket below it that is going to bring it, and then it's a 2-stage lander. So obviously it's not really going to go anywhere here, but ion-powered space probe for when you're up in space. This is the Kerbal 10. Really cool looking. It's got these nose cones. I am not really going to mess with this too much, except I'm going to put an SAS module, advanced SAS module on it. There. Put this back on. Go down there. Now, on the right-hand side, we've got our stages. These go from, like a countdown, they go, in this case, from 8 down to 0. And you can have it do different things at different times, because obviously you don't want all the engines going off at once, because that just would not be cool. So, and result in a big explosion, because then this engine right up in here would just obliterate that fuel, and then boom. So, yeah, here are the what are those called again? External fuel ducts. You can see this fuel duct, these rockets are taking from this liquid fuel here, because there's liquid fuel and there's solid fuel boosters. These are liquid fuel tanks. You got this aerodynamic cone on the top, which is, or these are, yeah, anyways, which looks really interesting. And then you've got the decouplers here, so we can see these puppies here. First, these engines, once you highlight over them, they turn green, so these are going to fire. Then these, I'm going to actually put all these together. You just drag and drop to the stage. Now we have 7 stages. As soon as I light these engines, these stabilizers are going to fall away, are going to release, and my rocket is hopefully going to go skyward. When these 2 engines are out of fuel, then we can decouple them and decouple and decouple, and then we've got this stage here. Once everything's burned out, we've got a stage here that's going to decouple. Then this rocket is going to go. We've got some landers, which is pretty optimistic, I think, but hey, whatever. And then once we're ready to re-enter or do whatever we want, at the end we decouple that last part. So hopefully our Kerbonauts will survive, and let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. We're going to hit launch here. We're launching. We are go for launch. Beautiful, beautiful day. It's always a beautiful day to launch on Kerbal. Always. In the lower right-hand corner, we have Bill Kerman, Jebediah Kerman, who is the greatest of all astronauts, and Bob Kerman. So this I think right here is my favorite crew of all time, because Bill's there smiling at us. Bill and Bob, and then Jebediah. I mean, really, that's a perfect set right there. Absolutely perfect set. So basically what we do with the controls, W, A, S, and D, we've got our altimeter way at the top. We got 90 meters. That means our Kerbonauts there are 90 meters above the surface. There's our speed. We've got the atmosphere there, which of course we have. We have a nice little abort button here if we wanted to abort. There's lights, gears, and brakes. Frankly, other than the lights, I'm not sure what the gears and the brakes do. Brakes, I'm assuming, just stop when we're in a place where we could use brakes. We've got the ball. We are on the surface, moving at 0 meters per second. So at the bottom, 0 meters per second, the bottom of the screen there, we get this ball. That's sticking straight up. And we got our G-force meter on the right and throttle on the left. So if I hit shift, we're going to throttle up. Quick countdown, 3, 2, 1, hit spacebar, and away we go. I'm going to hit T, which you can see engages the SAS module, and those nice little nozzles here at the bottom of our rockets are slightly moving just to keep us going. Now, you can see some of them have stopped burning, so we hit space and away they fall. They're going down. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. On the lower left-hand corner, we've got the liquid fuel. It's getting burned through. Burned through. We're going to have another decoupling. Those decouple, and away we go. Still going up. We are now 3,500 meters, 3.5 kilometers in the air. In a little bit, I'm going to start slight turn. Slight turn. We're going 175 meters per second. So we are just about ready to turn. Basically, again, I'm not really good at putting things in orbit. I'm really great at shooting them straight up. Oh, those are gone. Okay. Getting rid of things is handy because then obviously that, our weight goes down, which makes it easier to get things going up high. So I'm going to start slowly, if I can, turning, and we're going to do it like this. This is actually one of my better approaches into space here, if I do say so myself. Okay, we're stabilizing. We're gonna go down that way, and so now, I mean, I'm pretty far up, so I'm gonna start going now, just pretty much straight towards my horizon, because I want to be moving quickly towards the along with the planet, rather than just going straight up and straight down. I want to get my movement this way going. I'm almost out of fuel. That's okay. So we're going to do that. And if I hit M, we can see that our trajectory is, we're basically going to go in a polar, like, I don't know what it's called, polar. Okay, so that has gone, and away we go. And I am going to try to get us down. There we go. That's what I wanted. So I am slowly, actually, I'm going to go like this. There we go. That might help it a little bit. I could even go even more, because I am way up. I mean, I'm 82 kilometers. I think we should be fine. If I do like this, what I'm trying to do is fly along. This shows you the orbit, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stop this, because here's what happens. I am moving along. This is the apoapsis is the high point of the orbit. Now I'm going to reach that in 8 minutes roughly. When I get there, I'm going to do a little bit of a burn again towards my thrust vector or my velocity vector, whatever you call it. The way that my rocket is moving, and what that's going to do is you can't see it now because it's in the middle of the planet, but there's a periapsis down here, which is the low point of your orbit. If I burn at the high point, the apoapsis, it's going to increase the low point, and it's going to push it out, and eventually to the point where it flips. So now I'm going to be on the periapsis if I keep it up. So what I'm going to do here actually is I'm going to turn my ship, and I'm going to do a burn. Now I'm pointing, see this little reticle here, which has the fins pointing down. Okay, now I am at pointing, I forget the technical term. Basically, I'm pointing away from where I'm going. I'm moving on the screen relative to what you're looking at. I'm moving to the right, but I'm pointed left. So if I push my rockets, and we can actually do this so you can see it. If I click on this down here, it brings it up. If I increase my rockets, check that out. Apoapsis is coming closer to me. So I'm slowing down, which means I'm not going to fly as far away from the Earth before Earth's gravity grabs a hold of me and brings me back. I'm going to be 206 kilometers, which is still a bit high, but the way that I didn't do this right, and I'm sure people are out there saying, "Oh, you look at you, you're an idiot." Yeah, when it comes to this game program, whatever, at this point I am still learning, but this gives you an idea. So it's really cool because This is what I wanted to do when I was a kid. I wanted to fly a rocket, for crying out loud, and now I can. So, and you get to learn all these nice, cool things about how things work in space, and you know, no resistance, obviously, so you don't have wings. Don't do you any good up here. So it's all about how you're flying. Now you might be saying, you know, Tim, great, okay, 2 minutes, that's a long time. Not a problem. Let's speed up time, shall we? If we wanted to go to the moon, what we would do is we would just, well, first of all, I'd have to change a few things so that I'm kind of going towards it. But I would just, we'll get in that in another video, I think. I just speed up time. So obviously this is ticking away. What I'm going to do is, once we get there, I'm going to do a burn that's going to be right, again, this ball here. You see how the lines are pointing straight out? And if I hit SAS, that just stops me, so I don't have to worry about it. So these lines are pointing straight out. If I'm pointing in the direction, see, that I'm traveling. Now, because there's no resistance, as I move along, I might be moving a little bit. Yeah, see, I have to keep correcting for that. Now I'm going to show you in another video how to correct for that, but 12 seconds, 11 seconds. So I'm going to go down here, 10, 9, 8, let's see, 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to do a burn, and look what happens. You're going to see, if I don't run out of fuel, you're going to see the periapsis come here. There it is. So now, I look down here, you're 47 kilometers above the Earth, and it's going to take me 16 minutes to get there. And now I have officially entered into orbit around Kerbal. And I've still got some fuel, which is fine. I can make some course corrections and fun things. But that's about it. This is Kerbal Space Program. We've got our wonderful Milky Way out here, which is beautiful. You get up here, and it's awe-inspiring. I've been spending all my time just working on getting into orbit. This is actually the first time that me getting into orbit has worked relatively easily, and I haven't had to mess with it a lot. So thanks for watching. My Kerbals in the lower right hand corner are very happy, of course, because we are exactly where they want to be. Oh, before I go, let's deploy the landing gear, shall we? There you go. Landing gear down, and then we're going to bring them back up. See, I just right click on them, and then I select it. It's a beautiful thing. Kerbal Space Program. Thanks for watching. This is Tim Johnson. Fly safe.